This is a normal monthly meeting being held at Town Hall at 8 a.m., July 18, 2018. The meeting is being broadcast live. A recording of this meeting will be aired on the town's information cable channel 1301 several times during the week, and it will also be available on the town's website. I'm Sammy Hendricks, acting chairman today, and I'll ask all my commissioners to introduce themselves. Joe.
Jared Harrelson.
Good morning, I'm Brian Amick.
Good morning, Roscoe Kaufman.
Good morning, John Bartlett.
Good morning, I'm Brooke Poole, Town Administrator.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Manus, Town Council.
Good morning, I'm Ron Williams, Town Council.
Good morning, Dan Walker, Director of Parks and Sanitation.
Good morning, Charlie Thomas, Building Official.
Good morning, Randy Edwards, Transportation Director.
Good morning, John Hanson, Planning Director.
I'm Karen Hanna, the Assistant Municipal Clerk.
Thank you. John, will you do the invocation for us,
I
please?
will. Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to serve the town. Please direct our decisions today. Please protect and look after those families represented in this room. Please protect those that protect us, both near and far. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, John. Let's do the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll begin with our first item on John. I'm sorry. The minutes were sent out to all the members. Do I have a motion for approval? Second. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Mr. Hanson.
Good morning. Excuse me. Before we get started, I'd like to note in the record that the consensus of the commission this morning was that in the absence of the chairman and vice chairman, that Sammy Hendricks be the acting chair of this morning for this morning's meeting. So with that, if there's no objections, we'll move forward with the only item on the agenda this morning. This is a request for sketch plan approval for a new subdivision located at 191 Kaufman Farm Lane. You all should all be very familiar with this project as we discussed it at length last month. There were two issues that were brought up last month which caused the project to be withdrawn at that time. One was there was a couple of flag lots. I've given you a new site plan that eliminates those flag lots. And the other issue was the concern about left turns off of Kaufman Farm Lane onto Sunset Boulevard. Since last month's meeting, I've had several conversations with the developer, Mr. Rockwell. He has indicated to me and copied emails to me between him and Coles. He expects that he'll be able to get an easement to allow access to the stoplight in front of Coles next to Office Depot. And so I think that resolves the issues that were brought up, and I would ask that the commission entertain the proposal to go ahead and approve the subdivision pending staff review of submittal and staff review and approval of the easement. Of course, we'll have to have the town attorney look at that once it's provided to us. But to move it forward off of your agenda, I think everybody was generally pretty comfortable with the subdivision except for those two issues, and I think they're resolved and in the process of being resolved.
Okay, you've heard Mr. Hanson's explanation. Any questions, Mr. Hanson?
Just want to confirm that Mr. Rockwell stated last session that it was going to be an age restricted. He agreed to an age restricted.
Yes, sir. That's my understanding as well. That's what's included in the minutes, and that's
right.
what the direction that we would ask for approval
Okay.
of. I apologize.
Do I hear a motion?
John, I'd like to comment on that.
What would you like to comment on?
Want me to come forward?
Yeah, please come forward. Our minutes already stated that you've already commented on that. It would be age restricted.
Tom Rockwell, developer for Springdale Development. When I was here last month, there was discussions, and those discussions included a traffic survey that we performed in regards to looking at Lexington Villas as a comparable development that we're emulating. And it was assumed that Lexington Villas was a age-restricted development. I've gone back and verified it is not. It is an age-targeted development. Going through there on a regular basis, it is primarily people, senior citizens in there, even though it's age targeted. And so while the initial thrust of the development that is in front of you has always been to emulate the success of the Lexington Villas, which is a very successful, desirable area to live. That is our goal. And so while that comment was made in the context of what we were discussing last month, going forward, we have been successful in getting what you've requested, an easement. We're working on the easement with Coles, and is to keep the development similar to Lexington Villas, which is a age-targeted development.
Okay, so Ms. Rockwell, you suggesting changing your statement of age restricted to age targeted?
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. Ms. Hanson, is there any problem with that?
I think that's an issue as to whether the planning commission would like to study that further based on the traffic impacts of an age-restricted subdivision versus a regular, a non-age restricted subdivision.
Okay.
I think what Randy will tell you is that the traffic counts for a non-age restricted subdivision are different based on times, normal times, and traffic volume. I don't know whether that's something y'all want to require.
I think it was clearly an issue last time. Randy, do you have those kind of numbers available, or something we need time to study? I mean, can you tell us?
I mean, if I could just for clarification, Randy Edwards, Transportation Director, the study, while not a complete TIA, traffic impact analysis, was geared specifically towards an age-restricted or targeted community. The challenge is that you have approximately 6 trips per day in an age-targeted, to use that word, versus a standard. If it were to roll over and I, sell one of those units to, a normal single family, the number increases by about 50% to 9 to 10. So when you're looking at those differences, does it make a difference? Additionally, it changes when those peak hour or trips occur, which Mr. Rockwell in the study have specifically emphasized that the trips are off-peak. And I don't want to disagree with that if it is in fact age-restricted. But there's a difference between deeded, age-restricted, and actually just marketed to, as far as long-term. We're looking 10, 15, 20 years out, what's the difference? So I think that's up to you, but that we don't have the information for what's the impact if it were using the standard ITE rate of 9.4, 9.7 trips per day.
Questions, Commissioner?
No, I just think if we're changing, if we're making that change, we need to understand what the traffic impact is, and that's going to take some
Right.
time.
My opinion is that it may not change the outcome. I mean, we're 47 trips. Those would be peak hour trips, 47 additional trips. But if they all make a left and we have the access to the light, does it make a difference? Technically, in the current age targeted proposal, you shouldn't have 47 trips. I think the number that he showed was 30, high 20s. So if it were to go all the way up to 47, I don't know that would make a difference on how you would weigh in, but that certainly is your prerogative to have it looked at. But the studies they've provided do not look at that.
Commission have any statements? Questions? You think you should have a further study? Based on what our traffic engineer
Where are
said?
we with the easement with Coles?
Coles, that is really the crux of it, whether we'd have 30 or 47 people going out. Certainly, the crux of it coming back from last month's meeting was making a left-hand turn out onto Sunset. And so I went to Coles, and we have been successful in speaking with people at the corporate level, and they have replied that they will work with us. John's been being copied on the emails, and the last email is they ask us to go ahead and draft the easement to submit to them. We have reviewed all the documents in regards to that Coles, those out parcels. Those out parcels feed into the same easement area as what we are going to do, and we've been, I'll eat my words, we've been very favorably received by Coles in regards to access onto their property with an easement for the development.
Okay, I think, Mr. Rockwell, we're okay with that based on our conversation with Mr. Hanson, that pending that easement, we probably would pass this resolution today. Any further from the commission on hearing what Mr.
I think, Mr. Chairman, I still think there's some concern on the part of the Planning Commission about the age-restricted aspect of the community, because that was the impression we were given previously. And I mean, I don't know that requires additional traffic studies in order for us to make a legitimate decision.
Let me cut to the chase and make a decision right now. Seems to be a point of contention. I'll go on record and state that I'll keep it age restricted.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Your motion, please.
I'd make a motion, we approve sketch plan pending the approval of the easement with Coles.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay. I don't think we have any old business. Any other business? Mr. Hanson?
Yes, sir. Just real quickly, I wanted to mention to you all, many of you know Margie Jeffco, our permit administrative assistant. Has been with us for over 20 years. She rarely comes down to the Planning Commission meetings, but I know you all have worked with her over the years, and Wanted her to come. This will be her last planning commission meeting and before her retirement, a much-deserved retirement on August the 1st. So, Margie, if you wanted to stand up and say something.
Thank you.
She's one of the most dedicated and happy employees I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
That's actually coming from you. Thank you, Margie. We appreciate your service. Thank you very much.
Very much, and thanks to everybody for their concern over the years, their compassion, and their kindness to me.
Thank you. Council?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Planning Commission members, thank you for everything that you do to look out for our town, to make sure we stay safe, and we appreciate you. Want to have a few announcements. The fall schedule for the Ice House Amphitheater will be announced this Friday. I don't know if you had an opportunity to go to some of the spring events, but it was absolutely wonderful, and I know it'll be like that in the fall. So starting Friday, on our Facebook page or the website, Ice House Amphitheater, you can see what will be going on in the fall. Also, the farmers market, I don't know if you've been to our farmers market on Saturdays from 9 to 12 at Lexington Square Park. I went last Saturday. We had 3 farmers there. So with vegetables, fruits, vegetables, beautiful sunflowers. Your wives would love that, gentlemen. So please go to the farmers market. We had farmers there that had chickens and eggs and all that good stuff. So if you get the opportunity, take advantage of our farmers market on Saturday mornings. Our Lexington Community Fun Day is going to happen on Saturday, August the 4th from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Duffy Drive. It's a free event open to the public. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see our town council meeting on Monday night, but your town council members donated lots of school supplies for the Community Fun Day. And 4 of us had the opportunity Sunday to go to Office Depot and shop for those crayons and colored pencils and notebook paper and composition books. This is a great opportunity for our community and to help children who need help getting school supplies and getting ready for a new school year. The National Night Out is going to be Tuesday, August the 7th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Lexington Square. There'll be hot dogs, games, and more, and our Lexington Police Department is putting that on. Again, it's Tuesday, August the 7th. Movies in the Parks coming up. This Friday, it will be The Darkest Hour. And on August 17th, we'll have the movie Coco. That's the Friday night before school starts. We had a movie back in June, The Greatest Showman. We had 800 people at the Ice House Amphitheater to see that movie. So if you get an opportunity, take advantage of the great things that we're doing in the town of Lexington. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Ms. Manis. Mr. Poole?
I have nothing. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Thank you for watching the Town of Lexington Planning Commission in action. This meeting was held at Town Hall at 8 a.m. Wednesday, July 18th, 2018. A recording of this meeting will be aired several times during the week on the Town of Lexington Information Cable, Channel 1301, and it can be viewed online at the Town of Lexington website. I'm Sammy Henderson on behalf of the Town of Lexington Planning Commission and staff. I wish you a good day. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.